what's going on, everyone? It's GentooMan here, also known as Rainy, and you guys have been absolutely killing these horror stories, so I'm going to do another one today. I'm going to call this one Disney Horror because it has a lot to do with Disney, so yeah, stick around. I hope you guys enjoy it. This story time takes place just a couple of years ago. I was just chilling with my friends in one of my friends' basements, just kind of hanging out. Like, it was pretty late. I was staying over at my friend's house. There was like a couple of us there. And we were always kind of hanging out, talking, we were playing a bit of video games. I think we had a movie on in the background, but we weren't really paying attention to it. We were just kind of, hanging out, talking, like as you do, with your friends. I remember this specifically because this is really important to the story. We were talking about, vivid childhood memories that you can't quite decide in your brain if they're real or not. And I brought up, all that weird shit that you'd find on, the extras menu of, your old, kids movie DVDs and stuff. The one I had brought up to my friends was, I don't know if any of you guys have seen this, but if you go on the old DVD of the movie Cars, the Pixar movie Cars, there's, a deleted scene, and they're always, all these deleted scenes are always so, scary and visceral for some reason. They're so surreal. And there was one on Cars. It's just the storyboard. It wasn't fully animated, but it was, voiced and it had sounds and stuff. There was one where Lightning McQueen, when he's trying to find Mac, the big truck, to get to California, ends up going off the road, and he ends up in, this car graveyard where there's a bunch of, broken down, dead cars, stabbed through trees and broken down and stuff. And it's honestly fucking terrifying. Because if you think about it, cars are people in that world. So we just stumbled across, a bunch of dead people. And watching that as a young kid, absolutely horrifying. So I remember bringing that up, and, it kind of just got my brain going in, a whole loop. Just to kind of think about, Disney and, deleted scenes and stuff that scares me. And it kind of just brought me on this whole loop to, I don't know if you guys remember that Five Nights at Treasure Island. It was, the first Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, to my knowledge. It was, the one based off the Abandoned by Disney creepypasta with, the photo-negative Mickey. And for some reason, that game scared the shit out of me when it came out. For Five Nights at Freddy's, the actual game, no problem for me. Young me playing, watching Five Nights at Freddy's, not scared at all. But as soon as you put the fucking mouse in it, horrifying. I found Five Nights at Treasure Island terrifying for some fucking reason. So, as I'm spiraling into madness and fear in the corner, one of my friends is like, hey, do you guys want to do some salvia right now? And I've done a video on salvia before. For those of you who don't know, it's you take it and you kind of trip the fuck out for a couple minutes, and that's about it. It doesn't last very long, and that's why people do it, because it doesn't last too long. Now I'm just going to put this right here for anybody who may need this. Never, if you're feeling any sort of fear or unease or anxiety, if you don't feel good, if you feel scared of anything, even if it's just your own thoughts, never take a fucking hallucinogenic, because you will probably have a bad trip and it will not be a good time. So avoid that at all costs. So if you're scared of anything like I was at this point, don't take hallucinogenics. Don't be dumb like me. So I guess that's kind of a spoiler. I ended up taking the hallucinogenics. I took this salvia with my friends because, I didn't want to be the one guy who didn't. So I took it, and how it worked, it does kick in pretty quick, and I was gone. It was not a good time. I don't know if my friend just had really strong stuff or I just took a lot. I don't actually really remember, but I just remember imagining myself in that fucking car graveyard. And the way I had imagined it, I was sitting on a couch, right? I was just sitting on a couch in my friend's basement, but in my mind, in my eyes, I was in that graveyard, sitting behind a tree, and in my brain, that photo-negative Mickey Mouse was coming for me, and he would not stop until he had me. I didn't see him. I didn't even hallucinate the fucker, but my brain decided he was there, and I couldn't even move. I talked to my friends after the fact, and they're like, bro, you were just paralyzed for 10 minutes, and it only lasted for about 10 minutes, I guess, but for me, it felt like it was a year and a fucking half. It was a horrifying experience. It actually paralyzed me how afraid I was in that moment. But yeah, it ended up wearing off as salvia does, and it doesn't last too long. It was a horrible experience, but I ended up coming down from the trip, calming myself down, and, kind of hanging out with my friends for a bit. And, you know, there was no like long lasting effects of it, but it was a truly terrible experience. The moral of the story here is do not take a hallucinogenic if you feel scared or uneasy or anything. Only do it in like a super chill environment where you're with people that you trust and you know nothing bad is going to happen. And that's only if you do decide to do it, because to be perfectly honest, deciding to do it at all might not be the smartest idea. Bonus message, I guess, looking through like the extras menus in those old DVDs, like sometimes you find kind of like creepy and weird shit that kind of messes you up, but sometimes you find pretty cool stuff too. So I'd encourage you, if anyone actually like owns a DVD player anymore and their old movies, go through them, see what you can find. It's actually kind of neat sometimes. Anyways, guys, that is going to wrap up today's story time. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you're new. I've been noticing a lot of traction for these horror stories, so maybe I'll keep these up. And I guess this kind of doubles as like a drug story. You guys seem to like those sometimes too. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying my videos. I'm seeing a lot of growth. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I know I kind of get into these a lot at the end of the videos, but thank you. It means a lot to me. I love you all, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.